Guys, Mr. Bowman here. Today's learning objective is in green and we are learning to multiply algebraic expressions. The key emphasis, we are multiplying. This process is different for adding and subtracting, and again, it's different for division. But typically the way I'm going to do about it, it's going to be a bit of a process. The first thing you need to be looking at is you need to be looking at the numbers. And I'll explain what that means with an example, but we just got to get this down first. And the second process is we've got to deal with each letter separately. So we're not going to combine these in any way. So for example, if we had X, Y, and Z, you would deal with all of the X's, then you deal with all the Y's, and then you deal with all the Z's. So I do apologize if you hear some background noise. There is literally a bunny rabbit running around in the room. So hopefully you don't hear that too much. So we've done that. Let's change pen color. Let's get into an example. Maybe we'll look at yellow. Example 1, it'll be a nice and easy one. What about 2y times 3? So if you look at our process, the first step is you've got to look at the numbers. And in our case, the numbers, I just mean the numbers sitting up front. So we've got the 2 here, we've got the 3 here. We're just going to multiply those together. So 2 times 3 is going to get us to 6. Once we've done that, we're then going to deal with each of the letters separately. And in our case, this question, it's really easy. The only letter we have is a y, which means there's nothing for us to do there. So that answer is just 6y. So 2 times 3 gets us to 6. I'm going to put that y down the bottom. So the next question, maybe we'll look at, so don't forget the negative rules work here. So let's say we've got negative 4x times negative 2y. So just like we did for the first one, we're going to look at the numbers first. And in our case, the numbers negative 4, negative 2, they multiply together to get positive 8. We're then going to deal with each of the letters separately. So I can see an x. There's no other x's in our question. So that means the x goes here. And then we deal with the y's. No other y's anywhere. I'm just going to put the y over here. And we'll do one more question. So let's do 2x times 4 times negative y. So this question's a bit harder. There's 3 parts, but the same rules apply. So first step, we deal with all the numbers. So we've got a 2 here, we've got a 4 here, and this one here is a bit tricky, that last part. There is a number here, it's just invisible. So when we deal with multiplication, often we miss out the 1. So there's actually a minus 1 there, and we mustn't forget to do that. So we're going to have 2 times 4 to start off with. That's 8. Times negative 1, that's going to get us to negative 8. We then deal with all the letters like we have been doing. Try to do them in alphabetically order, remember. So we've got the x here, no other x's. And then we've got a y here, no other y's. So we'll put that down there. So hopefully this is beginning to make sense. So let's look into some harder questions where we have multiple x's on multiple things of the same number. So let's try 5a times 3a. First step, we deal with the numbers. So we've got 5 times 3, 15. And then we deal with the letters. We've got 2 a's, which essentially is going to be a times a. And hopefully you remember your indices rules. A times a becomes a squared because there are 2 a's being multiplied together. So that means it's 15a squared. Okay, we'll move on to another example. We'll try to rapid fire through a few more to highlight them a bit more. So let's go negative 2b squared times 3b. Oh, actually, let's do 3ab. So first step, deal with the numbers. Negative 2 and 3. I just want to note that little 2 up there, that's not a number because it's not in front of the letters, it's afterwards. So negative 3 times 2, well, that's going to be negative 6. We then deal with each of the letters. We try to do them alphabetically. So we're going to look at the A first. There's only one A. There's no A's in that other part. So it's going to be negative 6A. We then look at all the B's. We've got some B's here and some B's here. We've got 2 over here because that's B times B times another B. So that's going to be B squared times B. So we got 2 B's here one b here. That means we've got 3 b's in total. So change that for 3. B cubed, which means b cubed. And another way to remember that is when there's a letter by itself, it's a one that's independent or invisible, and we're just adding the powers together. So let's do a harder one for that. So question 6. So let's say we've got 4a to the power of 3 times 7a to the power of 4. So we deal with the numbers first. 4 times 7, 28. We then deal with the letters. We've got 3 a's here, 4 a's here. Add them together, we've got 7 a's, a to the power of 7. And that's a bit of a weird idea. So 3 plus 4 equals 7. It's weird that we're adding, even though we're multiplying. But the reason we're adding, we've got a cubed times a4. But we just got to remember that a cubed is a times a times a. And that's being multiplied by a4, which is a times a times a times a. So there's 4 a's. And if you add them all up, there's 7 a's being multiplied together. So it's a bit of a weird idea to do that. So let's have a look at a couple harder questions. So we've got negative 3. We're going to do x squared y times negative 4 xy to the power of 4. So same process, we deal the numbers up front first. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. We then deal with all the letters alphabetically, so we're going to do the x's. X here, x here. There's 2 x's there, 1 x on the other side. That means we've got 3 in total, which is going to be x to the power of 3. We then do the y's. We've got 1 y here. We've got 4 y's over here. That's 5 in total. That's y to the power of 5. And at this point, we're just going to stop. I just want us to notice something. If you have a look at every answer, 6y, 8xy, negative 8xy, 15a squared, negative 6ab cubed, 28a7, and then 12b cubed y5. All of them are a single answer. There's no pluses, there's no minuses. That's because we're multiplying. We're always going to end up with one expression. So there's going to be one part to our answer, and that will always be the case. So if you've got a plus sign or a minus sign, you should know or should figure out you've done something wrong. Let's get rid of all those circles to make our work a bit easier. And we're now going to get into some really hard questions. I'll change pen color. Let's go for orange to finish off this video. So let's go negative a squared b times 2ab times 3b cubed. So first step, we deal with the numbers. So don't forget there's no number here, which means there's an invisible 1 sitting here. So that's negative 1. We've got negative 1, we've got 2, and we've got 3. So negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 times 3, negative 6. We then deal with all the letters. We've got 2 a's here and 1 a here, so that's 3 a's in total. It's a cubed. We then deal with the b's. We've got 1 b here, another b here, and 3 b's here. That's 5 in total. And that's b to the power of 5. So question 9, we're just going to do a slight trick with this one. So let's say we've got 2x to the power of a. So I just want to note, that is not a number, that's a letter. But letters are still numbers. We just don't know what they are. We're going to multiply that by negative 7x squared. So it's a bit of a weird question, but same thing applies. Let's deal with the numbers. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. Then let's deal with the letters. We've got a over here and 2 over here. And I just want to remind us, we're adding together the powers. So a plus 2, whatever that is our power. We don't know what it is, but that's our power. So that means it's going to be x a to the power of a plus 2. And we're going to finish up with one final hard question. So we're going to have negative to a to the power of x times negative 3a to the power of y, and we're going to times that by b squared, and then we're going to go times 3 to the power of ax, and then b 2 again. So the same process applies. We've got a number here, a number here, a number here, all up front. We're just going to do that maths. We've got negative 2 times negative 3 is 6, times 3, positive 18. We then deal with all the letters individually. So we're going to deal with the A's first. So there's an A, there's an A, there's an A. So we've got x plus y as our power. So we're adding them all together, and that there would get us to 2x plus y. So that is going to be a to the power of 2x plus y, and that's going to be multiplied by the b's. We've got 2 b's here, 2 b's here, 4 b's in total, b to the power of 4. So we've gone from the easy questions all the way to the harder end of the questions to do with multiplying algebraic expressions. Please remember, I highlighted it before, but I'll circle it again. When you are multiplying with your algebra, you should always end up with one expression or one part. So if you've got plus signs or minus signs between them, so ignore the ones that sit in the power, that means you have made a little mistake somewhere. I hope you found this video useful. Hopefully you've gotten lots of tips, and hopefully you're confident multiplying your algebraic expressions. Let's get into heaps and heaps of practice now. Good luck, guys.